All right, hello everyone from 8th period math. Mr. Thompson here once again with another video. I hope everyone's doing okay with this online learning. I know that we've now been doing it for a good amount of time, so it's probably something that we're hopefully getting used to as the time goes on. But I know some of us are still struggling with it, as well as me at times as well. I'm still struggling with it. With that being said, so last week I've probably got the most questions regarding changing fractions into whole numbers, as well as changing and converting decimals into whole numbers in order to solve an equation. I went through and I graded a couple of ours, and obviously there were some issues. And if you went through and you read the feedback that I gave you, you would see where there was those issues and how we should solve those and return those back to me. So today, what I want to do, starting off our week, for me it is Sunday. For you guys, it is Monday. So I'm going to walk through with you one video on fractions again, one video on decimals again, and I'm also sharing for this week, we're going to have a quiz over it, okay? So I'm going to go through it a little bit slower pace this time, and I want you guys to obviously take notes. I want you guys to obviously pause the video where you need to. Try to even work ahead of me and work on some problems, and then you can check your answers with me as I go through and answer them for you, okay? I really appreciate those of us that have been reaching out, sending emails, calling. I've even had a couple of Zoom meetings this week with you guys, and I love seeing that. Please keep that up because I'd love to help you guys in any way I can. And if you do have questions, it's important that you guys are getting those answers because this is your learning. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to first walk through fractions. Now, this is the worksheet that I made last week for you guys, but now I'm going to go through it. So some of us have not completed this worksheet yet. So if you're watching this video, you're going to get a couple freebies, okay? So let me go up here to my annotating tool. Okay. Now, first thing that we want to take into consideration when you look at a fraction is you have a numerator, which is the top number, and you have a denominator, which is the bottom number, okay? Now, we're focusing, when it comes to converting fractions, we're focusing only on the denominator, so that blue area down here, the bottom number. Why we're focusing on that number is because when you look at both the numbers that are at the bottom, they both have something that they go into. Okay, so I see a 4 and I see a 3. And this is where you have to try doing a little bit of trial and error as to see how can you solve what is the least common multiple. Okay, so what is the least common multiple, meaning what number do both of these numbers go into? That's the least common, okay, multiple. So this is the number that, what I mean by that is it's not going to be, you don't want to go up to 237 or whatever it is. You want it to be the lowest number that they both go into. So looking at these two, we're talking about the denominator. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line, okay? When I put parentheses around it, I'm just showing that I'm multiplying into the equation, okay? So, for instance, I see a 4 and I see a 3. Well, I right away I think, well, 4 times 2 is 8. What about 3? No, 3 doesn't go into 8. So then I go to 12. 4 times 3 is 12, right? Then what about 3? 3 times 4, right? Sorry, I had to do a little bit of math in my head for a second. So 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12. So when you come on to the outside here, you are going to multiply the equation by 12. Okay, when you do that, and here's where I'm going to pull this up for you. Okay, so do it on your calculator, do it on your phone, whatever works out better for you. You're going to do 12 times 3/4. And you end up with the answer of 9. Now, here's something that some of us have forgot, t. This t comes along with it. You're writing this equation just with whole numbers rather than fractions, but it's still the same equation. Equals, now, 12 times 2/3. And you end up with 8. Okay, So in order to solve this now, it's just like you would do with me before we ended up leaving because of this whole coronavirus thing, is you want to get t by itself. So, or get the variable by itself. So you're dividing it by 9, you're dividing it by 9, and your answer would be t equals 8 over 9. Okay. And you can leave it at that. Now, let me see if I have one on here. I'm going to clear this out. Once again, I want you guys, let's see if I can find any more on. Okay, yeah. I'm going to do number 5. I want you guys to give number 5 a shot on your own. I want you to pause the screen right now and give number 5 a shot. And then by the time you come back, you'll see I'll have it done so that you guys can check it, okay? So go ahead and pause your screen, and I'm going to work through it, and then I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, for those of us that came back on and joined, if you look here, I'm taking the denominator once again, so 5 and 2. And I'm looking and seeing what number is the least common multiple. Well, it'd be 10 because both 2 goes into 10. 2 times 5 equals 10, and 5 times 2 equals 10. So that's why I'm multiplying this entire equation by 10. Now, when I say I'm multiplying the entire equation by 10, that includes 2y. We're not only multiplying the fractions, you're also multiplying your whole numbers as well. Okay, so I got a couple questions on that. Now, how am I supposed to go about doing this? Well, you just do 10 times 2, which would give me 20y. 10 times 3/5, it's actually negative 3/5. Why? Because this negative sign that's right here gives us -6. And 10 times 1/2, or half of 10, we know is 5. Okay, you're not done yet though. So some of us I've even seen that have gone and just put down this as your answer. Well, you have to solve from here now, okay? So first thing we do is we're going to add 6 to get this rid of the equation. It creates a 0 pair, so these are gone. You're adding 6 to this side. So then you end up with 20y equals 11. Okay, now next step, we divide by 20. That would be our answer then. Y equals 11 over 20. Okay, so there's a couple of things that have to come into play. First thing is, and I can't even write this down, so let me clear my screen here. Let me scroll down. Okay, we'll just look at the very bottom here. First thing you want to do is look, well, I can actually type this out. So you're going to look for the denominator. Okay, that's going to be your first thing that you're going to want to do. The second thing you're going to want to do is now find a least common. We just put a common multiplier. Okay, we're going to multiply the equation by the common multiplier. And then on top of that, after you do that, you are going to solve the equation. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the denominator of our fractions. Second thing that we're going to do is we're going to find a common multiplier between the denominators. Then we're going to multiply the equation by that common multiplier. And lastly, you're going to go ahead and solve the equation. Okay, so I know that this is different because obviously when it comes to fractions, I think a lot of the times that we make ourselves nervous, but I want us to get into the habit of looking at that denominator and solving the equation from there. Okay, so look at the denominator first, find a common multiplier, multiply the entire equation, even if it's a whole number, by that common multiplier, solve the equation then, okay, and then you'll get y equals. Now, on the one worksheet that we did, I put out equation and then I put out answer. And some of us were like, well, what do I put for the equation? Well, your equation is anytime that you have a variable that you're solving for. That would be your equation. Okay, so you want to write that out on the side. Once again, I'm going to post. So today you're going to see that there's going to be a quiz posted. And you guys are going to want to obviously take your time on it. You have until Sunday to complete it. I'm going to be posting a video today over fractions, tomorrow about decimals. So maybe you want to complete the fractions part of the quiz today and the decimal part tomorrow. That's up to you. As always, though, that you're going to have me as a reference. And if you guys need help at all with any worksheets or quizzes or even just questions and all about anything that you guys are doing, I want you guys to obviously reach out to me because I'd love to talk to you, okay? With that being said, on Wednesday, we're going to start a new topic. So I really want you guys to focus today and tomorrow on the 2 videos that I'm posting, get that quiz done, and then we'll begin on Wednesday with a new subject, okay? All right, well, I am happy that you guys tuned in, and I look forward for your next lesson. All right.